Let's talk about lucky girl syndrome, how it almost killed me multiple times, how it's taking over TikTok, how it is a form of spiritual psychosis and leads people into spiritual psychosis, and how these very seemingly harmless trends of just like positive thinking and believing that everything is going to work out for you can lead people into very, very, very dark places and into 10 plus years of delusion, like me. I was stuck in New Age spirituality for over 10 years, and that is not an exaggeration. And I finally need to tell the whole story. This has been long awaited. I feel like it's almost anticlimactic. Like I almost don't even want to tell it because I've been on TikTok for almost, well, not even a year. I mean, I've been on TikTok longer than a year, but on the account where I started talking about this, it really started to pick up last summer, I think. Summer and fall is when I started kind of like talking about New Age spirituality. And basically, I was contacted by one of the women that I used to work with in Boulder, that we were part of this like shamanic practitioner group, and we all studied together. And she had texted me, and she didn't mean to, and it like completely triggered me. And I was on a break from TikTok, like I was private on my main account, and I was just kind of posting on Allie Starts a Cult for fun. I had like 6,000 followers or something at the time, and I literally posted about this. Like, this woman really triggered me when she texted me, and I'll get into the whole story about when I thought I was a shaman in Boulder with a bunch of other women. I was really, really triggered by this woman. It brought up so many emotions, and I was private on TikTok, and I remember I decided to just post. I was just like so angry, and it got some traction, and it was crazy, and people wanted to talk about it. And so I started talking slowly about New Age spirituality and what I had been through. And then in like, yeah, the summer, or the like summer fall time, I started stitching creators like Quantum Shifting and Alex Serves Tea, and I was like, hey, do you realize what you're doing is dangerous? And that's when my account really started to grow. And so I went from like 6,000 followers last summer to now, today, I hit 138,000 on Allie Starts a Cult. And I have been in like 5 publications this week. If you're new here, like news sources like Glamour Magazine, the Boston Globe, Teen Vogue, this other magazine that Selena Gomez owns, and I think something else. But it's been a wild ride, and it's been fast. And I didn't set out to do this, but it's really, really important. And if you're new here, my name is Allie, and I was about to be like, and I'm an alcoholic. Well, I used to be. God, that is so ingrained. I think that's so messed up that you have to like, that people call themselves alcoholics like that. I didn't even do it when I was in AA because I believed in the law of attraction. Actually, I was like, I am not speaking that into the universe. But truly, like, I was like, I am a recovering grateful something. I don't know, something like that. But I wouldn't say it because I believed so much in the power of our words. And our words are powerful, but they are not spells spoken into the universe. And I do believe in like prayer and all of that stuff. But I just think it's like different. I think it's, yeah, I'll get into that. And I don't believe in prayer. That really freaked me out that I said that. I have a lot of issues with words that remind me of church. I grew up in a religious cult. We'll get there too. I should probably give you guys a little backstory. But I do believe that like, if you call out, like, I believe that we all are connected. I believe that we, like, your prayers, your wants, your desires, like the things that you feel spiritually, I believe all that's real. But I also believe like what we know about something like gravity, right? Just because we aren't able to fly doesn't mean that we don't believe in spirituality. And that's the same thing I believe about our thoughts and energy and frequency and all these new agey terms. Your thoughts. I'm so winded because I hit the volcano like 2 seconds before this. Y'all know she had to. Y'all know she had to. I want to put on a wig right now, but I need to just get through this. I was about to put on a wig. Should I put on a wig? Yeah, obviously. Hold the fuck on. I was like, dude, write an outline. Write an outline for what you're going to talk about. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. That is not me. I'm not going to stress about it. The people who like me. I'm ADHD. I actually have autism and ADHD and stuff, and I just am not a structured person. So if the way that I do things drives you insane, sorry, not sorry. I'm going to put on a wig. Okay, thank God. I feel a lot better. Okay, now I'm comfortable. Now that we are all comfortable, I hope y'all are too. The name's Calzone to you. No, I'm sorry. I shouldn't put a bunch of inside jokes in here. I love to wear wigs, and it's just a thing I'm doing lately, and I just freaking love it. And I think it makes me maybe more comfortable on camera. I'm not sure. But if it makes you uncomfortable, this is my house. And you can leave. No, I'm sorry. I'm a little extra sassy. I just got my ass handed to me by my best friend. I just got stabbed in the back. That's a whole separate drama from all of this. I just got stabbed in the back the same week. I got major press. And it's been insane. Anyways, you can go to other videos to learn about that. Back to Lucky Girl Syndrome and Spiritual Psychosis. My name is Allie. I'm 34 years old. Let's just start at the beginning. Did that seem overwhelming? It seemed overwhelming to me too. This is why I need an outline. Oh, before I begin, I'm going to write some stuff down. Just hold on. Before I get into the actual story of like what happened and how I almost died from Lucky Girl Syndrome and Spiritual Psychosis, I just wanted to say that I am unbelievably addicted to TikTok, and I think that a lot of people are, and my brain is like actually broken from TikTok. My body is broken. My dopamine systems are broken. If you can even sit through a long form video, good for you, because I can't. So I could hug each and every one of you who sits through mine. I have to practice what I'm trying to help you guys do. I used to walk like 3 to 5 miles a day and just listen to YouTube videos long form. If it wasn't like at least 45 minutes, I just couldn't even do it. That seems like a distant memory, but I was so much healthier, and I was on my phone so much less. Like, at least I was on my phone all the time, like consuming podcasts and long form content, but it was so much healthier. I want to help people with TikTok addiction because it's real, it's serious, and that is why I am working my ass off to make long form content, and I will get a podcast out, for the love of God, at some point. But even these YouTube videos, I hope help you guys get things done, and I know a lot of people are using them as body doubles. So if you don't know what body doubling is, look it up. But it's just like, sorry, I'm just trying to not babble on forever, but basically it just like helps you get some things done, and you don't have to look at a screen, and you can like do your dishes or go for a walk. I highly suggest going for a walk if that's available to you right now, or sitting outside, or knitting, or anything at all to get off our screens, especially TikTok. I'm so scared of TikTok. I love TikTok. I hate TikTok. But I hope to provide you guys with 2 or 3 long form videos a week this year. And we can all help our brains. So whatever you're doing today, if you can, again, no pressure at all. If you just need to veg out and watch and do your thing and do whatever you need to do, no judgment. But if you can go sit outside or walk or go sit on the bike at the gym or anything other than scroll TikTok, I am so proud of you because I am struggling. Look at my little pony. Look at my little pony. So I just wanted to say that. That's what I hope. I hope to help people with my YouTube videos doing that. And I'm going to have a ton of content coming up about TikTok brain, because that's a real term, about what it's actually like to be a creator on TikTok. I have 500,000 followers there almost between 2 accounts. And it's fucking hell on earth, my brothers. It is no joke the worst. Like, I am scared. I know I keep saying that, but I am. And I want to make videos about what it's like to be a creator there, how much I suggest not being a creator there. I'll tell you guys all the secrets, everything I know. I want to make a ton of content about TikTok, what it's doing to our brains. I want to talk about like what it's doing to kids. It's fucking serious. I did not have the internet. What? Yes, I did. I did not have social media before this. I was like off of, this is getting itchy. I was off of social media for so long before this. I'm sorry, I have to take this off. And now I went from like no social media for years, only YouTube and listening to like long form content, to fucking, I would like pop in and out of Instagram sometimes, like for like a week or two. But I never was on it regularly, or like Facebook or anything. I'm old like that. Or like, not if you use Facebook, no judgment. I'm just saying I wasn't on anything for so long. And then all of a sudden I was just balls deep in Rick Rock. It has changed me for better and for worse. Like, TikTok has saved my effing life in some ways. And I also want to talk about that. Because the authenticity, the things you learn, how real people are there, it's life-saving. It's life-saving. And I gotta bring that vibe to YouTube. Real, not super edited, fun, raw, authentic. Like, I want to bring TikTok to YouTube. In a way. Just at least the things that fucking work. You know what I mean? Anyways, I'm gonna have a ton of content about that coming out. I'm going to have content about like PMDD and psychedelics. I'm going to have content about tons of new age spirituality stuff, a ton of science, a ton of physics, just like a ton of near death research. I'm so scared of dying. Can we just talk about that? That made it sound like I was actively. I hope I'm not. Don't get me started on how paranoid I am about that shit. don't even go there with your brain. Please, God. Just keep talking, you hypochondriac. Stupid brain, gonna process the shit out of that right now. I could go on so many tangents about that. I live with a crippling fear of death all the time. I want to talk about it. I want to talk about near-death research because I'm obsessed with it and I haven't looked into it for a long time, and it used to give me a lot of comfort and I haven't done that. I want to talk about just how much I hate being alive. Like, it fucking sucks here. And everybody's telling us it needs to be awesome. No, it doesn't. And when I started accepting how not awesome it was here, I started realizing how awesome life actually is and how beautiful small things are. I want to talk about grounded spirituality. We're going to talk about autism, ADHD, brain injury. That's my main special interest, is the brain. And I need to get back to that. We're going to talk about dismantling the mental health system in the US because it needs to fucking happen. And crisis mental health is a joke. And I want to help people who are incarcerated. And I want to use my fucking white privilege to change the system as much as I can. And get everyone focused on the goddamn brain and complex PTSD. Basically, I believe that everything boils down. This is just my theory. I believe that everything boils down to the brain. Nobody taught me about my brain. And I'm sure in 10 years we'll know so much more. But right now, I believe that most people are dealing with complex PTSD, brain injuries, brain dysregulation, autism. It's so much more prevalent than anyone ever thought. It's literally just a different brain. It's not that big of a fucking deal. It's just a different brain. Can I say that 700 times? It's just a different neurotype. It's not like 1 in 50 for sure. It's a lot more than that because so many people go undiagnosed. ADHD is a performance disorder. It feels like an actual brain injury. It works like a brain injury. You cannot organize across space and time. These things torture us. And complex PTSD. Oh, did you ever go through a long-term period of stress? Did you ever, like, being a human is traumatizing, and I want to start talking about it. It's not like, oh, were you traumatized or not? It's like, what kind of trauma do you have? And then you have varying levels of all, like, you have people, some people are born with autistic brains, some people are not born with, like, you have people who are born with an autistic brain, you have allistic brains. I believe ADHD can, yeah, I think that it's very hard to separate all of those things sometimes. So if I want to help people learn about all of it, and then they can take what applies to them. And then on top of all of that, I want to talk about religion. I want to talk about the Bible. I want to talk about New Age spirituality. And I want Joe Dispenza to sue me. And Esther Hicks, honestly. Come for me. And Dolores Jannon's daughter. And Bruce Lipton. The three amigos. I've been... So a little bit about me. Those are like gurus that are really, really dangerous, that drive me crazy. Let me take this wig off. If you're wondering who I want to sue me, it's people in New Age spirituality. But that's me in a nutshell. That's what you'll get on this channel. And I just want to make people feel comfortable in their bodies. I have been tortured my entire fucking life, and I just want to make people feel better. And I want to make people feel like less alone. And I was in the mental health system forever, and I got my shit rocked by them. And I've been in and out of psych wards, and I've been through so much medication, all because people didn't know I was autistic. And I want people to find my channel, and I want them to feel like they are okay for the first time. And I want them to feel like someone is actually real in their life and is not putting on a show. And I want to show you guys the darkest, deepest, dirtiest parts of me so that you don't feel alone. That's all I fucking want. And I'm really excited to be able to do that here. I have been so, like, stuck on TikTok in those 3-minute clips. Like, I can't believe my page has actually done well when most of my videos are 3 minutes long. Like, it's crazy. It's a serve. A soft serve. No, I'm sorry. I promise we're getting in my spiritual psychosis story. I'm sorry about that. Like I said, I'm 34, and I was in New Age spirituality for over 10 years. Okay. I should have looked this up a long time ago, but New Age. New Age is a range of spiritual or religious practices and beliefs which rapidly grew in Western society during the early 1970s. Its highly eclectic and systematic structure makes a precise definition difficult. Okay, I sound drunk. Why do I... Promise I'm not. But you heard me. You heard me. What is the New Age spirituality movement? The New Age places strong emphasis on the idea that the individual and their own experiences are the primary source of authority on spiritual matters. It exhibits what's Helas termed unmediated. Lord? Maybe I shouldn't read for you guys, you know? I did take some gummies. You know me. Unmediated individualism and reflects a worldview that is radically democratic. Okay, I don't like that. What does being New Age mean? Ooh, I like this one. Is used to describe spiritual or non-scientific activities such as meditation, astrology, and alternative medicine, or people who are connected to such activities. She was involved in many New Age activities such as yoga and healing. I don't see yoga as New Age, but the way that people do it is New Age. I feel like those were terrible definitions. Here's my definition of New Age spirituality. I don't really care what anyone else says. I'm not an expert. I don't claim to be one, but I was in it for over a decade. It almost killed me 5 or 6 times. So I think I am qualified to share my story at least. What I talk about when I'm saying New Age spirituality is not the Buddhist, Vedic, indigenous practices that were stolen from, right? I'm talking about Esther Hicks, Abraham Hicks. That's the same thing. If you've ever heard of Abraham Hicks, you probably have heard Abraham Hicks and you don't even know it. She's all over TikTok. Joe Dispenza, like Louise Hay. So it's new age spirituality, kind of what they were talking about, where it started in the 70s, but it started way before that. I just have a very different understanding of all of this stuff than those weird little definitions. To me, new age spirituality is like the law of attraction, The Secret, things along that line. My understanding of the history of this, I got a lot from like a book called Bright-Sided and a lot of other things, which I'll get into later on. But basically, in the early 1900s, from what I understand, there was a reaction to Calvinism, which is like hardcore, crazy Christianity. And people were so depressed and people were so sick. And there was literally like a bunch of people like that wanted to die, essentially. And there was a man who came up with this new idea, like this new thought movement. And there's like a ton of different tentacles of this thing and ways that it started and people who took it. But essentially it was white people who like took this idea of like, it was a reaction to religion, and people realized they could make a lot of money on it. And over the years, they stole from like indigenous practices and Vedic tradition and Buddhism and all these like actual ancient philosophies, traditions, religions, all the things. They stole from them and appropriated them. And they mixed that with fake science, like early quantum physics that was disproven in the earliest 30s and 40s. Like, the double split experiment is a real thing, or the double slit experiment is a real thing. But we've known since the 30s and 40s that like it doesn't mean that all that exists is what you observe, right? Like they took things like the double slit experiment and it's been completely twisted. And you have people who are really into The Secret on TikTok right now saying it's science, like what you speak into the universe becomes reality. And that's quantum physics. And that's what I believed for a long time. And that's not true. And so you have this kind of like really dangerous new religion, essentially, that was a reaction to religion and also became an MLM. And it's just as dogmatic as religion, if not more so. And people charge money for it, and it got into the business sector. That's what Bright-Sided is about. I'll put it it's in my Amazon storefront. I'll link my Amazon storefront on YouTube in the description. I haven't done that yet. I have a whole section called Brain Books and a whole section called Other Books, and these are the best books that I've read over the last 10 years. And Bright-Sided is one of the best books out there. Again, I want to say that this is just my opinion and understanding and the research that I have done. I in no way claim to be an expert in this area, and I know I miss a lot of things and a lot of nuance and a lot of the history of it, and I will try to do my best to educate myself on all of that. But this is just like an overview of what I understand of it at this time. So the names are like Mary Baker Eddy and William Parker Quimby and Neville Goddard. Like, all of these people were part of this new thought movement back in the day. And there were tons of different ways that it got into the business sector and kind of became this MLM. And of course it became this new religion, and now it's accepted as science, and it's not at all. And it makes real physicists want to scream, and it's really, really, really harmful. And the 2022 Nobel Prize in no way proves that the law of attraction is real. And that's shocking to people. Like, that they are messing up quantum entanglement in such a disgusting way, and once again twisting the science. Even the placebo effect has been so twisted by Joe Dispenza and that whole group of people. And it's like this new thing that everybody just accepts, like, oh yeah, your thoughts create your reality. Vibration, I thought that I literally vibrated at a certain frequency. Humans do not vibrate like that. You are not vibrating at a frequency of love or a frequency of fear. And that is therefore attracting a bad experience or a romantic partner into your life, depending on how much you control your own vibration. It's become this very widely accepted thing that, oh yeah, if you raise your frequency or if you're at a low vibe, you can get sick and all that stuff. Frequency does not apply to humans at all, from my understanding. Frequency applies to music, but you cannot like raise your frequency as a human and it in no way affects your physical health. You cannot control the cells of your body with your mind in some magical kind of like quantum mystical way. Like there's quantum physics, actual quantum physics, which I think proves the existence of all of this stuff, but we just can't control it. I think it proves that we're in this magical, crazy thing, but we can't control it. And we know that. Like when you really break it down and you think about children or things like that, like we know that children can't just go be left in a park and say, okay, universe, like you know that a child can't just create their reality with their mind. Like we know that, right? Like when you look at a kid who has cancer, you're never going to tell them like, oh, your vibe is just too low. Like when you think about children, you know, it's like, so ultimately, I think everybody really knows that, yeah, my thoughts aren't pinging out into this quantum realm and creating a car accident 2 weeks from now. Like that makes sense to me now and it's comforting. But for over a decade, I believed that. And I believed that I created everything that happened and I tried to control every single thought. And I thought that I controlled the cells of my body. And I didn't. And it was so horrible for my little brain, my already traumatized little brain. And they make promises. I'm starting to think that this is the government's new way to control us. I mean, think about, they've always used religion to control us. They've always used, you know, everything to control us and make us fearful. Why wouldn't they use this? Oh yeah, everybody creates their, I mean, the other day I'm like, what if they even made up those CIA documents? I have to really look into all that. You know how the government supposedly released like documents that prove that we control our reality and all this stuff? I mean, we know with basic quantum physics that we don't. We know with basic physics, just basic Newtonian physics, which they told me that was just not real. I seriously thought Newtonian physics was just stupid. Newtonian physics has saved my life. Just the basic understanding that we don't vibrate like that I can't control my health in that way. Can I do things to improve my health? Sure. Does running on cortisol break a body down? Yes. Do happy people live longer? That's debatable, actually. Seriously. But I'm just saying, like, it's interesting. But yes, of course, if somebody's under tremendous amounts of stress, that's going to lead them to an earlier death. I mean, we know that. But are you creating changes in your cells in some magical, mystical way? No. And we know that, right? So I needed to know this stuff. This stuff really, really, really ruined my life for years and years and years and years and years. And it's taking over TikTok. And we need things like ancient wisdom mixed with physics and science and what we do know now, right? Nobody's denying gravity. Nobody's saying like, okay, well, gravity isn't real. So, you know, like, to me, energy and vibration and stuff is the same thing. Just because energy and vibration doesn't work in this way doesn't mean that we're not in this really spiritual experience. A lot of people get really depressed. I got really depressed at first when I was like, oh my God, if my thoughts don't create my reality, then what do I have? Like, how do you let go? That's another traumatizing thing from all of this. When you have OCD and you get a hold of this stuff, when you have OCD and you're autistic and this becomes your special interest, like, when I'm talking about like turbo manifesting in my apartment and just, Like, all I did for years was try to control my vibration and my frequency and my thoughts and turn every thought into a positive one and live in this future present reality and live in the quantum and not in reality. And like, I got so deep into it and trying to quantum leap and shift and jump timelines and like all this stuff, and all it led me was into actual psychosis, and it made me very, very lonely, and I'll get into all of that. But I needed to know that like basic physics is okay to believe in, just like it's okay to believe in gravity. Like, you're allowed to understand that your thoughts can barely leave like your skull, if at all. It's like swamped by all the other electromagnetic force in the world, right? Like, that's probably not even the right term, but like, I needed to know that. I thought that when you get deep enough into this stuff, you believe that nothing exists without you observing it. And in my experience, when you get that deep in, you either become so unbelievably paranoid or you become so unbelievably arrogant. And if you mix psychedelics with that, I mean, hello. Then you got some creators on TikTok. Then you got an Alex serves tea. Then you got a quantum shifting. And no, I'm not going to sugarcoat that. That's exactly what you get when you believe that you are the only person that matters in the universe and nobody else really does. You create this reality. This girl who just passed away, that's what she believed. This whole fucking drama that just happened on TikTok where someone actually died from this shit. Her friend asked me to make a video about it. I'm going to come out with a long form video about that eventually. I need space from that situation right now. Let's get back on track though. I will get into all of this, but that's kind of where I'm going with all of this. And I don't want to just shit all over spirituality. I am a spiritual person myself. Truly. I have to be. I believe that consciousness moves on. I don't believe that people die. I have seen amazing things on psychedelics. That's why I want to do long form content, because when you leave this cult, which it is a cult. I mean, this isn't spirituality. This is capitalism. This is escapism. There is such a difference, and we'll get into all of that. And I encourage people to figure that out for themselves. I don't want to give anyone a formula about spirituality. I am so traumatized by it. I can't even think. Spirituality to me is what's happening with my TikTok right now. What's happening with how honest I have been able to be and just kind of like shut all these lies down, and how I have been weirdly rewarded for all of this pain. Like with all these news articles and with all the support I've gotten and just all the receipts I had. Like, it's just been this, like, everything that has happened on the Allie Starts a Cult account has felt like something spiritual to me. That's spirituality. The fact that, like, if I hadn't responded to AMW, I would have never found out about Roxy, or I would have found out, like, at such a bad point in my life. And I'm sorry if you don't know what I'm talking about, but you can go back and watch a few other videos. I've just been through a lot of drama on TikTok with this community and calling people out, and they're really not happy about it. And I understand that. And again, I want to do my best not to hurt people, because if they're in this, there's a reason why. But we need to talk about it. And these people are charging hundreds of dollars for bogus healing. No amount of prayer, no amount of energy healing, no amount of ancestral clearing. I mean, I did this stuff for over a decade, and I just needed somebody to tell me about my brain. I just needed somebody to sit down and tell me it wasn't my fault. I needed somebody to say that my childhood essay, trigger warning, I don't have to censor what I say here like I do on TikTok, but my childhood, sexual assault, that was, which I went through that. I've barely talked about that on TikTok. And it was actually like, I really believed that I chose that for a long time. And people like Abraham Hicks, and I'm sorry if I just triggered anyone, but people like it's not your fault. It's not your fault. It was never your fault, and it causes serious brain damage. And people like Abraham Hicks verbatim say that a child attracts that. It's fucking wrong. It's disgusting. Now it makes me furious. At the time, I didn't hear it like that, right? Like, I just heard you chose what happened to you. I never heard the clip that I have of Abraham Hicks now. That just makes my blood boil. But I did believe that I chose all the bad things that happened to me, and that, that I didn't think about it in a child's mind, that I was vibrating at a certain frequency to attract an assault like that. But think about how fucking foul that is. I mean, it's a good place to start this conversation. Do you actually think, which people on TikTok have told me, yes, I've had many creators tell me, yes, that you create your own assault as a child because you're vibrating at a frequency of fear. Somebody just told me that a month ago. That's not okay. That is absolute abuse. That's called spiritual bypassing, or they'll say it's generational karma, things like that. But let's just start with serious examples. People are like, it's a nuanced topic. It's very nuanced. Everything is nuanced. This is black and white. Humans do not vibrate at a certain frequency, so that's already out the fucking door. And a child cannot control their abuser with their vibration. I mean, think about what the fuck you're saying. Follow your own thought. Not only is it disgusting to think like that, but follow your own damn thought. Do you think that a child, like a creator just said this, I'm not going to mention her name because she got a lot of heat from the videos I made, but a creator said, she came to my page, started talking shit. So I said, do you think a child creates their own cancer or creates their own abuse? And she said yes. And that she told her client recently that, yes, if you're going to vibrate at a frequency of fear, then yes, that would create that. First of all, can I punch you in the goddamn trachea? Let me get a quick 1 fucking 2 to you. That's not meant to be super violent. I'm just, it's metaphorical. I metaphorically want to kick all of these people in the fucking crotch. Like, it's on site. I know they're gonna take me down for that. I don't care. It's the truth. I want to kick all of you in the crotch, like hard. Metaphorically. Because who the fuck says that? When I was deep into this stuff, I'm sorry, I'm just ranting at this point, but we're gonna get there. And this is part of it there. But I'll get more into like the history and like what I really did and all the weird shit and how I thought I was a Lakota person. That's the saddest part to me, is that as a white woman, I stole, and I promise that I will pay back the Lakota people for the rest of my life. And when I actually start making money at this stuff, I'm going to have a very specific fund where I just funnel money all the time. Because I stole from you all, and I stole your prayer songs, and it's messed up. It's literally so messed up. That's a whole other part of this. Oh yeah, I thought I was a Lakota woman and singer. I did like sweat lodges with all these people who were actually just white people in sobriety that thought we were like cool and badass because we did sweat lodges, and it was just like it is badass. Sweat lodges are so badass, but not when they're a bunch of appropriation. Anyways, that's a different story for a different day. But when you think about just the basics of these principles and you think about them in terms of children, we cannot tell people stuff like this. We cannot tell people that your thoughts create your reality in that way. Does it help to be positive? Yeah. If you're positive and think good things, will you be more happy and like get out in the world more? Yes. Sure. On a basic level, is that true? Will it help your health on a certain level to be less stressed? Absolutely. Does it change anything? Can you affect the quantum realm? No. I don't even know if I'm allowed to call it the quantum realm. I'm just so used to calling it that because of Joey D. Joe fucking Dispenza. I can't wait to meet you. Can't wait to meet you, Joe. We did it, Joe. We did it, Joe. Like, what if, like, Alex is always talking about the Matrix and all this stuff. What if this is the next thing they're doing to control us? It would make so much sense because, hey, it's not that you can't pay your rent. It's that you can't think well enough. You're just not being positive enough. If they get all of us to believe that we control our reality while inflation is out of control, we're still in the middle of a goddamn pandemic that nobody can do shit about, nobody cares about anymore. It's fucking crazy. Like, Biden is... I mean, we clearly don't control this reality. It's so rough here, and it's so fucked up, and it makes actual sense that they are the actual ones that are controlling us. If you really believe that, like, it's just up to your own thoughts and that, like, that's just pull yourself up by the bootstraps mentality with some mushroom sprinkles on top, with some like galactic sprinkles on top. And I love mushrooms, okay? I'm not dogging psychedelics, but they can fuck your life up. Please be so careful. Please be so careful. Please be so careful. Please be so careful. I only do crazy small doses of psychedelics now. And by small, I mean a tenth of a microdose. I am very pro psychedelics, but they will fuck your life up if you don't know what you're doing. And if you just think like, oh, I'm just trying to get to the other side and I just... Baby queen, listen and learn. Because I should not be here right now. And I did things, you know, like you know, I've been there with psychedelics and there's amazing stuff. But for broken brains, for brains that are autistic, I have friends that are autistic that do psychedelics and they can do 3 grams and it's incredible. If I did 3 grams, I would be in the psych ward for like 2.5 years. Well, no, I've done it before. But like, it breaks my brain for weeks after, even though it's amazing. And I have been to places on them because my brain is in such a tender place. Like when I first did them, okay, I'm going off on a tangent. When I first did them, it's before I did a lot of substances. And I went through a lot of trauma. Like I was already traumatized, but it's interesting to think about this now. And my brain handled them a lot better. Now, my brain handles psychedelics in a very different way. And I am just such a proponent of doing them in a safe way. Why the fuck was I talking about that? Did I mention I have ADHD? Executive dysfunction? A performance disorder? A professional rambler of sorts, if you will. I'll get you back to the point. I'll get you there. Hey, don't stress. Put your seatbelt on. I'm going to get us there. It's already been like 40 minutes of rambling. You know what? Who fucking cares? Hello, everyone. I have to stand because my back is about to fucking snap in half, but sorry this was such a rambly video. I have literally been going through some unbelievable online bullying, slander, harassment. I just got stabbed in the back by someone I thought was my best friend. There's like a whole thing. I'm going to post stuff about it here eventually, but I promise that my next video about spiritual psychosis is going to be awesome, and there'll be clips and it won't just be me rambling forever, and I'll get into the actual story, like what I actually did when I went into psychosis, like everything. But I think it's good just to get an overview of all of this, and my next video will be that. And I don't know how long this series will be. We'll see how long it takes to get through 10 years of stories about this stuff. But I appreciate all the support that you guys have shown me so much, and I promise that I will get so much content up on this YouTube channel. And I just found out this morning that all of these women and Barry Ann and all of these creepy people actually bought a trademark in my name. And Barry Ann sent me death threats yesterday. She's in some, if you go and watch my last two videos, Mean Girl Spirituality and New Age Spirituality Exposed, that will give you kind of like an overview of some of this drama that I've been going through. But essentially there's just a bunch of women who are really mad at me, a bunch of people who are really mad at me about calling out this stuff and about exposing it and about talking about specific creators on TikTok who make like doomsday cult predictions and do really dangerous shit and get people and like give people information that ends up leading them into psychosis and death and psych wards. And I have actual proof of that now. And I promise I will also post a video about the entire situation about the girl who died and really give out all the receipts and everything. There was nothing more I could have done in that situation. Like, if I had looked into it any further, it would have been wildly inappropriate. And I had the correct information. I didn't lie. I didn't exploit her. I didn't use her for views. And she did pass away from this. And she sounded exactly like Alex Serves Tea in Quantum Shifting. Like, what happened was exactly what needed to happen. And then people like Roxy and Aquarium Music Witch came in and exploited this death to try to hurt me. And it's really, really, really gross. And I want to give this whole situation some time and space, but I will come through and like put a huge thing together about all of that at some point. But it just makes me sick how all of this has played out. And the fact that these will, like, I'm actually scared for my life. And I got a death threat yesterday, and I don't care if Carrie Ann says like, oh, that just means I'm going to take you off the internet. No. That what you typed in one comment was so specifically a death threat. And after everything that you've done, I believe that these women want, like, that she wants me dead. Like, go back and watch my last two videos. Carrie Ann is in it. I call her Barry Ann. I mean, if that's what she thinks she can sue me for, is the fact that I called her Barry Ann and that I somehow knew that she was in an MLM, like, please. But I just want to also document this here. It's February 8th. I am scared for my life. These women actually want to destroy me. What they're doing now is they're trying to buy my trademarks. They bought a trademark and they bought one. She said yesterday that she bought all my trademarks and that I better start taking down my content because the rent is due. Like, this woman talks about the law of attraction. You're willing to fucking pay hundreds of thousands of dollars she already paid however much. It was probably just a couple $100s to get this little trademark. But like, if she actually tried to sue me for my own content for like copyright infringement, basically what she was saying yesterday is she's going to wipe me from the internet and I need to start taking my content down because rent is due. And she said that she bought all my trademarks and like essentially that they're going to sue me for my own content. Like, these people cannot catch me in a lie. They can't get me deplatformed. They can't get people to hate me. I'm gaining like 1,000 followers every couple days. They think I'm buying followers. I don't even know how to do that. They're like, you're so poor. You're so disabled. You can't do anything for yourself. And then in the next breath, they're like, she lives in a mansion. And like, what is it? Like, what is it? Oh my God. Oh my God. It's so confusing and stupid. Anyways, okay. But the next I'm going to just focus on YouTube. That's all I can do is focus on YouTube, and I will update you guys with all the legal stuff when I can. And the next video is my spiritual psychosis story part 2, where I get into the actual stuff and what I really went through and how horrible it was and how alone and lonely I was and all the weird shit I did with relationships and what New Age spirituality does to people who are autistic, and what spiritual psychosis actually is, and what lucky girl syndrome actually is. And I'll show you guys clips so that you understand. But lucky girl syndrome is this, I'm saying this at the end of an hour-long video about lucky girl syndrome, but it's essentially just saying like, I'm so lucky, everything works out for me, and like, that's fine. But when you get deeper into it, it's like believing that saying that affects the outside world, and it just doesn't. Does it affect how you feel in it? Maybe. is it also really fucking dangerous and walks especially autistic women into really dangerous situations? Yes. And just autistic people in general? Yes. And people who are desperate and who want to be loved and who don't understand their own brains and don't understand their PTSD and complex PTSD and don't understand like why they do the things that they do or end up in the situations that they do. We have to learn to protect ourselves. We live in a beautiful, magical universe. We are alive, animated beings. You can have babies. You can fall in love. I know that consciousness moves on. There's people that I know I've met before. There's crazy synchronicities. It's fucking amazing. Look at nature. Okay, but there's gravity. There's things that we know, like you can't teleport, right? I wish we could. But that doesn't make it any less magical here, and it takes away from the magic that is here. It ruins people's faith to tell them that they control their reality with their thoughts, and it wrecks certain people's entire minds and lives, and people lose their life to this stuff, and I'm not going to shut up about it. And I love you guys, and I promise the next video will be even better. Thank you for your patience with me. I truly am a disabled person, and it's very hard for me to do very basic things, and I feel so attacked, like, in terms of my abilities right now, and it's bringing up so much fucking trauma, and fuck you, Roxy. Like, from the bottom of my heart, like, get fucked. This woman stabbed me in the back, started a hate crusade against me, and has really, really, really messed with my mind, but you've also only made me stronger. So, and the fact that you would make fun of someone for, like, yesterday AMW said, so are you lying on purpose, or do you just have this disorganized of a brain that you can't, like, tell what you're doing? Like, we will all be talking soon. And the fact that you guys are all in the autistic community, that's the other thing. I'm getting attacked by autistic women. Like, it fucks with me. But that's another thing we're going to talk about, is how you literally can't trust anyone, and how you have to, like, especially people that you think you should trust, don't trust them, and learn how to protect yourself, and learn how to stand up when people treat you weird. And yeah, vibrate right today, boys. Just kidding. You don't vibrate. You can relax about it. I love y'all. Calzone. I love y'all. Calzone out. I should dance on YouTube. I'm going to go live here as soon as I can. I'm getting unaddicted to TikTok. I love you guys.